everyone seems to be okay. At this stage of the season, I think everyone's got a few aches and strains, but nothing that physically will put them out of Saturday's game.
Did you watch any international football last night?
Yeah, I watched the majority of the England game. I was searching for the Ireland game, but it wasn't on my limited TV. But I watched the England game.
You haven't seen Noel Hunt then claiming his first international goal?
No, I didn't. I didn't see the goal, but as soon as I walked in this morning, he was telling me all about it. So, he's a proud Irishman. So he's also a committed goal scorer. And if he got the final touch, I don't blame him for shouting out long and hard.
As for Championship matters, I mean, Coventry have seemingly got themselves together a bit under Chris Coleman. They seem to be going in the right direction.
Yeah, he's a good manager. It seems many years ago when I signed him for Crystal Palace from Swansea as what seems to be a very young man now. His career was cut short. I know that gives you a motivation as a manager to try and sort of continue your involvement with the game, and in a very short managerial career, he's got an awful lot of experience at Fulham, abroad in Spain, and now with Coventry. He knows what he's doing. Very organised, got a good team behind him, and it'll be a good test.
What are the characteristics that he has that makes him a good manager, in your opinion?
Well, I think he's decisive. Ever since he was a young man, he was fairly decisive in what he wanted to do and the way he wanted to play, and I think that's carried through into his management. I think you know where you stand with Cookie. He'll tell you what he wants, and he'll let everyone know if he's not getting what he wants.
You had a bit of good news. I mean, it's selfish to say this, but Michael Kiteley being ruled out for Wolves for the rest of the season yesterday, I mean, that is going to help, surely.
No, I don't see that as, it's certainly none of my business, and it's certainly nothing for us to have any feelings about, to be honest. We know all too well recently that our concentration has got to be 100% on ourselves. If we get good results, then we'll be at the sharp end right at the end of the season. For us to be looking for other people to do us favours, it just never happens in football. So it's no problem, and I'm sure Wolves will overcome it as well. And
finally, you must be as frustrated as anyone, probably more frustrated than anyone, that you haven't been able to capitalise on Birmingham and Wolves dropping points.
Well, it's been strange. You look at our very strong home form for 2/3 of the season. Recently it's been poor, and if we'd have got just a half decent return from our recent home games, then we would have been in obviously a lot stronger position. At the moment, we've got a lot to play for. We've got a lot to prove to ourselves as much as the rest of the Championship what we're capable of. So we have a common determination to get where we want to be.
The sun's shining, and Steve, just looking at you, the mood seems a little bit more optimistic going into the very, very sharp end of the season's calendar. Would I be right?
Yeah, I suppose so. I think everyone's been away, and I think we've had 9-10 players away this week. So everyone's come back, and our agenda is set for us, and we've all come back. We've had some decent results with the international games. So everyone's looking forward now to finishing the season off strongly with obviously the club sides.
I mean, looking at the league table, you're still perfectly placed to finish in that automatic promotion spot.
If we win games, and it's down to us. If we perform as I know we are capable of, then it's going to be hard. Don't get me wrong, but we're well capable, as I've said many times, of going 7 games unbeaten. Maybe even of going 7 games, picking up an awful lot of points. So that's always got to be our agenda, just to maximise points. And it's right before our eyes. We know what we've got to do.
Have you managed to pull Noel Hunt off the ceiling yet? Has he stopped doing cartwheels after that goal against Italy?
Well, I think it's still in dispute. I think he wants 100% confirmation before he starts his cartwheels. But it's a great boost for him to be included in the squad, to get on and to score a goal. It's a great feeling for him and for the Irish to get a point in Italy. They're really buzzing this morning.
Steve, away again after the international. I think is that 10 out of 11 breaks?
Something like that, yeah.
Is there anything have you drawn it to the league's attention?
We did last summer. You know, I feel it was a real big factor in us being relegated last year. I think, you know, the international breaks last year, almost every one. I think there was one we were at home, but I think 5 others we were away, and it wasn't just, you know, nearby or Derby away games. It was Sunderland, Bolton, Blackburn. You know, it was real distance travelled, and you know, Coventry's not far away, so we've got no real issues about it this time. But it's certainly not been, you know, an equal handout of the games after internationals, and I think it is significant.
What was their response when you did?
You don't get a response. You just, you know, you write a letter saying that we were disadvantaged last season. Perhaps can we be looked more favourably upon this season? But,
so they just don't do anything.
Well, obviously the computer can't read our handwriting.
No. Team selection difficult this week. I read somewhere that you're looking at the midfield a bit.
I don't know where you read that, but I'm looking at everything. You know, I'm a manager in this situation. You want your decisions to be positive ones. You want them to be meaningful. You don't want to be indecisive. And you know, at this stage, you know, I know what team I'm going to pick for Saturday. You know, and I want it to be a team with a real attitude going into the game. I think we have to have a positive attitude. We have to be progressive in our play. We've got to go there wanting to win the game rather than, well, we go there with 1 point and we'll keep hold of that. You know, I think we've got to try and attack because that's our strength.
Although it seems to be the lack of goals more than the defence that has been the problem recently. You know, a few more goals would have been a lot more points.
Yeah. But I can't see a way of scoring goals by playing more players in midfield. You know, what's worked for us for most of the season, you know, we won't stray too far from. I think it would be really difficult to change style or emphasis at this stage.